And as promised, I've got Lindsey on the phone. Lindsey Charles from the band The Cell Phones, also out of Chicago. Lindsey, hello.
Oh, hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. I'm so glad we were able to connect tonight.
I know. It was really a quick meeting, and I just instantly wanted to talk, so here I am.
Excellent. My favorite kind of guest.
Yay.
So, Lindsey, just to get right into it, I've seen you play a couple of times in Chicago and once in Gladstone. And you guys have such a wild stage presence. It always makes me smile to see you guys, the energy you guys bring to the stage. And you in particular makes me think you have a theater background or some kind of background in performance. Is that true?
Yeah, what gave it away? Yes, I do. I have a theater degree. I went to IU, and yeah, I moved to Chicago to start theater, but I ended up in this band, and so a lot of the theater stuff I do now just has to fit within the band schedule.
Awesome. Is that how you've connected to? Because I know you've had some theater shows, or somehow the band has been affiliated with some theater performance that's gone on in Chicago.
Yeah. I also do a bit of writing, and we did a show at the Conservatory called Rezoned, and it was a kind of us writing a bunch of spoofs off of Twilight Zone episodes. And Justin, our drummer, actually is a wonderful magician that you can see. He is online. You can find him. But I think he goes under Magic's Justin. But he did magic during the show, and Ryan and I kind of accompanied him with music. It was awesome. It was really fun.
Is the Cell Phones performing in those contexts like as the Cell Phones, or are you guys playing in almost different roles, not necessarily as a cover band, but playing other stuff that you've kind of written in parallel to your project as the Cell Phones?
Yeah, we like to mix it up. Like the Halloween album, that's kind of something that it's not. We only play a couple songs off that album, but it was more to make like the haunted house soundtrack. So we like to do like fun stuff on the side. I wrote a song called Husband, where I was just basically taking like that Phil Spector, He Hit Me, It Felt Like a Kiss song, and just making a different kind, like a little more blatant song. So yeah, we like to mix it up. We like to do different things and kind of explore how we do it and how we do it differently. So yeah, it's nice that the guys are a little adventurous. Justin also kind of comes from an improv, like sketch comedy background as well. So, and Ryan's really open to anything. And also I'm married to him, so I just have to be like, do it now. So he's actually my Instagram film star. I film him doing very weird things on my Instagram. So we're all learning.
That's awesome. I was going to ask, because I know you recently got married to one of your bandmates there, and has that changed anything in the band dynamics, or is it more of a natural evolution in kind of the relationship of the three of you?
Yeah, I guess it's been natural. I mean, the second I met Ryan, I knew that he and I were going to be really close. Like, he's a really, we have like a million things in common. He's like super goofy, and I just instantly liked him. And I remember Justin telling me like, no, I don't think you guys would make a good couple at all, because he obviously like didn't want things to get complicated. Yeah. But I don't know, we just kind of went with it, and it was great. I mean, Justin's been super supportive. He knows that we are totally crazy about each other, so that's nice. It's his fault anyway. He's the one who introduced us, so
he's good at sharing some of the blame at least.
Yeah, and he stood at the wedding with us. It was great. It was like we were all getting married. It was funny.
Awesome. Now, you guys have, as the Cell Phones, have such a unique sound, combining elements of like math rock and punk rock and 60s soul and some metal in there. Mm-hmm. Tell me a bit about how your sounds evolved over the years that you've been writing together.
Justin and Ryan used to be, and they've been in bands with each other since middle school, so they are maybe the most sharpest rhythm section I've ever met in my whole life. They're amazing. So they kind of came with a couple ideas. Like Ryan really likes doo-wop, and Justin really likes math and like metal. Everybody both really love metal. Ryan likes black metal. Justin really just likes a good drummer to drumming real fast. And they kind of just exposed me to a lot of that. And so then I kind of brought in, because I really like pop music. I'm a big fan of a catchy song. So we kind of, mix it together, and where the two of them can kind of just, they can go off and do some really wonderful, complex things. I'm kind of the one that tries to rein it in with like something repeating and something catchy. We all kind of bring something different to the table, and also I feel like I've learned a lot from what they've made me listen to, and vice versa, hopefully.
Yeah, so it's a good mutually educational kind of musical experience.
Yeah, I feel like it's always an education. I feel like whenever we come together, anytime like during practice, Justin will say, "Oh, I've been listening to this new album," and then we'll all listen to it, and we'll all like talk about what we like about it, what we don't. So yeah, I think we're always kind of trying to learn like what each other likes.
Cool. And you seem to have an uncanny ability to write songs about anything from the French door in your apartment to having loud sex to what I think is winters in the Midwest to dirt biking with Satan. Now, how does the inspiration come as randomly as it seems to?
Kind of. Sometimes, usually the song starts with Ryan just like playing something. He'll kind of tell me what he thinks the mood is, and I'll tell him like what I think the mood is. And I remember the first rehearsal, the boys talked to me and they were like, "Well, you can write about whatever you want." And I looked at them and said, "Wait, I'm writing the lyrics?" And I was so scared that it was all going to come out like the way it did when I was in high school and middle school, where it was just about boys and being like rejected. And so I have like every now and then I try and mix it up. Like we just we're working on a new song that we haven't even practiced, but I'm excited about it. Ryan told me that in his head it's about driving a car, using Lakeshore Drive to drive a car so fast that it breaks the speed of light. And I said, yes, like let's do it. So it's all kind of suggestion. Ryan told me to write a song where I was like really angry about something, and at the time I was on my period, so I wrote a song about my period. So it's just kind of, I don't know, it all like kind of comes around to what we're thinking at the time, and we're all just really weird. So it just ends up being weird things.
That's awesome. It's refreshing and unique, and I really like the creativity of it, because you never kind of know what the next song's going to end up being about.
There's one that's we just wrote one called Pariah that is about. I found out that Bjork and Matthew Barney broke up, because she wrote that whole album about how they broke up. Mm-hmm. And I decided that I was going to write like what Iceland thinks about it. And so and literally, like, I usually don't describe it when I'm on stage, but I ask, or I always just say, like, "Hey, guys, do you want to know what this song's about?" And I'll tell them what it's about, and I get such a laugh now from that. So
that's wicked. It's a really neat kind of creative element to the band. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
So you guys are huge fans of Halloween, I know, and such fan. You mentioned your haunted house soundtrack that you recorded back in 2010, and I hear you don't have any plans to celebrate this year.
We're kind of working it out. I've talked to a couple of bands that are also thinking like, "Oh, I should do a Halloween show." The guys have decided that they don't want to do a cover band. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they're turned off by that. I think because we did one cover band. We did a Leslie Gore cover band called Gore, and it was awesome. And Leslie Gore found out about it, and we met her on Skype.
Oh, yeah.
So, oh my God, it was the best experience ever. So now I think it's ruined us. Because now,
nothing will ever top it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she died earlier this year. We were all really sad. Like, they were like talking to us about like possibly like, like getting together, maybe them coming to see us, like all kinds of, and I was just, I don't know, just seeing Leslie Gore on Skype was enough. It was wonderful. But yeah, that's completely ruined us. Like, they don't want to do it ever again. So now I'm like, okay, well, we can play a show, and they just seem so out of it. I even like suggested throwing a party here, but they're both out of town right now, so I haven't received any like responses from them. But I've been asking incessantly, like, what are we doing? So I don't know. it's been a weird year, so I guess maybe they're just feeling jaded. Jaded about Halloween.
Oh, well, to cheer you up, let's play a little game I call How Halloween Are You? Now, I just made this game up, and it's the first time I've ever played this game. So,
nice.
With that in mind, are you pro or anti? There's a couple of pro or anti questions. Are you pro or anti the Monster Mash?
I'm pro.
Pro Monster Mash?
That is stand the test of time.
How about the Time Warp? Are you pro or anti Time Warp?
Oh, I have every word of Rocky Horror Picture Show memorized. So
you're a big Rocky Horror fan?
Oh my gosh, such a big one. We used to go scream at the screen. I used to host it. I used to host it in Bloomington.
I feel not surprised at all about that.
I know, right?
How about candy corn? Are you pro or anti candy corn?
I am pro candy corn. What is with all the hate? I don't even understand.
No, I'm excited. I was gonna ask a question, but I think it has more to do with Canadian candy. We have these funny toffees that you can get. And they only come out at Halloween, and they're wrapped in orange and black with ghosts and cats and stuff on them. And that's a very divisive issue. People are either absolutely pro or absolutely anti these toffees.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about them, but
yeah, I don't. It's candy corn's great. I keep seeing on my Facebook feed. It's how to eat candy corn. Number 1, throw it in the trash. I know, and I'm like, that's harsh. And I love candy corn. Number 1 should be giving me your candy corn.
Excellent. It's a better alternative. It's better for the planet.
I know.
In your scary movies, do you prefer suspenseful, low-grade terror, or those jumpy surprise, fast edits, kind of startle scare?
I think I like the first. I think I like the subtle stuff because that stuff really sticks with me mentally. I remember going to see The Ring and being like, oh, it's PG-13, what's this even going to be? And I remember, accidentally, I think I woke up in the morning and I accidentally, stepped on my remote, underneath, a shirt or something, and the TV just came on and it was nothing but the static, and I called my mom. I freaked out. And then Mom was like, did you just step on the remote on accident? And I looked down and I'd stepped on the remote. But I didn't even think about it. I was so scared. And the jumpy stuff, when I'm in a theater, I'm so loud, obviously. I'm super loud, so when the suspense starts, the jumping starts happening, I get really loud. So I don't like it because then I'm embarrassed.
Oh, that's awesome. And the final question, how Halloween are you, is do you prefer eggs or toilet paper for your Halloween pranks?
I think toilet paper. That stuff does not carry diseases, and it's easier to clean up.
Awesome. It's a wholesome prank then.
It is. It's a wholesome prank, only because, when you're in Chicago, the aftermath of Halloween, it's really gross. Because it's you're just trying to get to work, and there's just eggs everywhere. It's awful.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for playing along. The last question I have is there is a pretty rad community of musicians and artists in Chicago, and Chicago does have a solid history in the punk rock scene. Tell me a bit about the community and how you see the cell phones fit within it.
I don't know. I hope that we are people that that people talk about for a while. There are just so many wonderful bands here, but the problem is that there are so many bands. There are so many. So it's hard sometimes. We've been in the game for 7 years, and sometimes it's, we see a band for the first time, and we say, how have we never seen you? And it's just because there are just too many shows, you can't go to them all. The kind of community, the PRS community, the Did Thunder Snow that you went to, and some other stuff. They do the barbecues in the summer.
Yeah.
I actually just did a PRS barbecue in Louisville a couple weeks ago. They're it's wonderful when you are surrounded by people who all love music and they all love you and they love to support you. like when you go to the merch table, just it's not like, oh, I don't have any money, or oh, do you take cards? I don't only have cash. It's always like, which T-shirt am I gonna buy? Like, because I have way too many T-shirts. Or you'll look at the merch table and you'll say, I've already bought all of this. Like, can I just give you money? Like, that's kind of the attitude. It's more of like, hi, we like you a lot, we support you, and whatever you need, let us know. And I mean, that's how we recorded our first album. That's how we kind of got to do a lot of the PRF barbecue shows. Just the people in that group, in the forum on electrical audio, they are all wonderful, very supportive people. They feel like family. When we get drunk, we start hugging. Like that's just like that's the people I want to surround myself with. And I'm sad that a lot of Chicago bands don't have that. Like, they start out and they want to make music, and sometimes, they don't get the kind of support because there's just too much going on. So I wish that, everybody got that kind of support, but I'm really lucky that we do.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now, you are in the middle of, or getting ready to record your new album.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing, because your last one was just in 2013. How can you describe a little bit about this record and how it's a little different or a continuation of from the previous one?
Yeah, we loved the first one. Always caffeinated recordings to that, and it was really great. It was a good first experience, I think, for me, because I've never recorded an album before. But the guys have a little more experience with that kind of thing. But I think we all walked away thinking, oh, I could have done this, or like all these regrets. And a lot of people will listen to us and they'll say, whoa, you sound different live compared to your album. And we get that a lot. And though I think people like the album sound, I think what we want to do is have a little more of the live element to it. So the guys are playing live this time. Ryan has taken out one of his basses. He was playing two on the recording. Now he's just taken out one. He's kind of working on just cultivating that sound to sound good. And I have very specific ideas as to what I want to do. A little less backups, like singing, and a little more just like focusing on the actual like melody. And and I'm really excited. We've been playing some of these songs for years, and some we just wrote like a month ago. So I'm really excited to see like what people think. And I think it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be really, really cool.
That's fantastic. I'm excited to hear. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. We did like a tour. We have a lot of friends that do recording, like that they're like really good sound engineers. We went to like 5 of them, and it was like a great experience to just like record with them. But we like are really like poring over those recordings and listening to which ones we like the best, or which ones we think we can grow into the best. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm just waiting for Justin to get back from the West Coast because he's currently on vacation, and Ryan's with his parents. I'm just waiting for everybody to get back so that we can talk about it and get started. I'm so pumped.
That's incredible. So I would like to play. I'd like to play a track that was recorded. I think for an article you had recorded by the time an article earlier this year came out called "Loud."
Yay!
Which is what do you want to say to introduce this song?
This is maybe the oldest song that's going to be on the album because we literally wrote it maybe like right after we started recording the other album. So it was like, oh, we shouldn't include it, but now we're going to play it a lot. So this one is about loud sex. Not necessarily me, but other people. It could be about other people. Everybody's always like, "Yeah, this is about you having loud sex." I'm like, sometimes I can be quiet. I promise. Sometimes when we're in quiet places. But yeah, anyway, it's a really old. I mean, it's old compared to the rest of the songs that are going to be on the new album, and I don't know. It's a classic. We play it pretty much every show because we enjoy the the excitement it gets from the audience.
Awesome. Well, here's Loud by the Cell Phones on the Sonic Blend Air. LU Radio 102.